Karen, did you?
Go ahead.
What is a commercial officer?
My commercial officer's mainly in responsibility is enforcing traffic violations of commercial trucks and also truck route violations, things like that. But he also is tasked with taking collisions and regular enforcement of the regular vehicle code as well.
Because that is one thing that has been noted, is that some of the trucks that are on some of the streets, that doesn't appear as appropriate. And I don't know which streets trucks can and can't go on, so I don't want to say they are inappropriate. But I'm glad that we have somebody at least addressing that, because that's been a complaint from our residents also, particularly going down Ontario on the residential.
Yes, that gets complicated. In a nutshell, they can take the route most direct to their delivery or not. But we do receive complaints about commercial vehicles in residential areas, and we send him out to handle that.
Okay. Let's say we went down the path of CHP. Can they not use our equipment so that they would be using our radio system? Can we not equip them with that, or would they have to stay with CHP equipment?
Well, we don't have enough equipment to provide motorcycles for them for this operation. We have one spare right now that we use when one of ours is down for maintenance. That would be the vehicle that this first officer would use if we got one in November. As far as providing radio equipment onto their motors, as I understand it, they would provide the service at an overtime schedule from their officers. So they just simply don't have the room to add another radio to all of their motors, and that motor would have to shift around depending on which officer signs up for the overtime for that day. So we would be dealing with whoever signs up for the overtime to work Corona's shift that day, is how I understand they would try and accommodate that schedule.
So we get somebody who's already worked their full shift and then come work for us. We pay for a tired officer.
Yes, ma'am, possibly.
That doesn't sound very appealing. And I guess it's all of our question on the chief with the 91 project, because I know there are funds set aside, but if we did it this direction rather than how we were originally going to do it, not sure what the spread's going to be on that. We're all in the same dilemma that we have to do something. And then is there anything, I know that you keep addressing the schools. I know that some of the problems were already happening at the schools. They just intensified, particularly Cesar Chavez, because there was already issues up there. What can we do? I mean, it is not just our city, but in all cities with that construction, you have so many parents driving their kids less than a half a mile or just even a few blocks. You have all those automobiles at the same time. You're going to have congestion. Is there any way that we could do something to work on eliminating some of that traffic that builds up around the schools all at one time?
I know that we meet regularly with the school district, and that's one thing that we encourage them to send that message out to the parents to either carpool or get their kids in the car closer to school versus dropping off a half mile away. We did have a meeting with Cesar Chavez last week, and we addressed some issues with adding, they're going to add additional crossing guard as an example that RCTC is going to pay for. Another access way going in through the rear of their school.
Okay, they are going to do that.
They're going to do that. RCTC is going to pick up the funding for that, in addition to adding somebody to help direct traffic. And so we have another meeting scheduled tomorrow, unless it was canceled, with Prado View Elementary School to listen to what their concerns are and see if we could address their needs. And then Coronita will be the other one that's been impacted. So we meet with them in addition to our regular meetings that we have with the school district to address those particular needs and concerns.
As with any one issue we have in town, there's never one answer, and that's why we have to look beyond just, it can't just be adding motorcycle officers. It's got to be this, this, and this, and so we have to look at the whole picture and then work with all the entities like you are with the school district. So thank you. I'm done.